Captain Elena Rodriguez stood at perfect attention in the United Nations General Assembly Hall, her dress uniform crisp despite the sweltering heat of too many bodies packed into the historic chamber. The environmental controls struggled to compensate for the unique requirements of their alien visitors. Steam rose from the Zarkax delegation's crystalline exoskeletons, their bodies naturally running at temperatures that would cook a human alive. The alien ambassador, first speaker Ixal, towered 12 feet tall at the podium. Their translucent outer shell caught the light from the chamber's grand windows, casting prismatic patterns across the worn marble floors. "We have reviewed your species' spacefaring capabilities," they announced, mandibles clicking in what the human delegation had learned to recognize as barely concealed amusement. Holographic displays materialized around the chamber, showing Earth's modest collection of orbital stations and patrol vessels. Elena's expression remained carefully neutral as Ixal's appendages gestured dismissively at the images. "Your most advanced ships barely achieve 1% of light speed. Your weapon systems rely on primitive kinetic ammunition, and your defensive capabilities." A ripple of clicking sounds spread through the alien delegation, their equivalent of laughter. Elena's hands clasped tighter behind her back, knuckles white but face composed. 6 months of diplomatic training had prepared her for this moment. Every human in this room knew their role in humanity's greatest performance. "We are a young species in terms of space travel," Elena responded, her voice steady. "We hope to learn from the Zarkax Confederation's greater experience." The words tasted like ash in her mouth, but she delivered them perfectly. Ixal's crystalline head tilted, faceted eyes studying her with what might have been pity. "Indeed, your honesty is refreshing." The alien turned to address the full assembly. "The Confederation has encountered many emerging civilizations. Some resist their place in the natural order. They end badly. Others accept guidance and flourish under our protection." The holographic displays shifted to show Zarkax warships, their crystal lattice hulls stretching for kilometers. A subtle tremor ran through the human delegates. Elena allowed herself to flinch slightly. It would seem suspicious if she didn't show any fear at all. "We offer Earth a choice," Ixal continued. "Accept status as a protected territory under the Confederation. Grant us access to 30% of your planetary resources. In exchange, we will guide your development, ensure your security, and gradually share appropriate technologies." Elena stepped forward, playing her part. "And if we decline this generous offer?" The temperature in the room seemed to drop as Ixal's outer shell darkened. "That would be unfortunate. We would be forced to assume your species harbors hostile intent. Preventative measures would become necessary." Murmurs of concern spread through the human delegation, all carefully choreographed, all part of the plan. Elena bowed her head slightly. "We request time to consider your proposal. Our planetary government structure requires consultation with multiple nations. Your species' fragmented leadership is inefficient," Ixal observed. "But we will grant you 72 hours to reach consensus. We trust you will make the wise choice." As the alien delegation swept from the chamber, their crystalline forms casting long shadows, Elena maintained her rigid posture. Only once the doors sealed did she allow herself the smallest smile. The Zarkax had proven themselves to be exactly what Earth's intelligence suggested: arrogant, dismissive, and utterly convinced of their superiority. They had no idea that humanity's apparent weakness was its greatest strength. No idea that every stuttering rocket launch and clumsy space maneuver of the past decades had been carefully calculated. No idea what waited beneath Europa's ice. Elena checked her neural implant's encrypted chronometer. 71 hours and 45 minutes until humanity showed the galaxy that sometimes the best place to hide strength was behind a mask of weakness. The real diplomatic dance was about to begin. Dr. Sarah Chen pressed her palm against the observation dome's transparent aluminum, watching the construction drones weave through Europa's subterranean ocean. Their lights painted the ice cavern in shifting patterns of blue and gold, reflecting off the obsidian hull of humanity's greatest achievement. The EDS Prometheus stretched nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern, its sleek form deliberately understated despite the power it contained. "Final quantum fold calibrations are complete, Doctor." Her assistant's voice came through the neural link. "Engine signature is reading at less than 0.01% above ambient radiation." Sarah smiled. 20 years of her life had gone into solving that particular puzzle, how to hide a drive system powerful enough to bend spacetime from even the most sophisticated scanning technology. The solution had come from an unlikely source, the bioluminescent bacteria that thrived in Europa's ocean. Their natural quantum fluctuations provided perfect cover for the ship's energy signature. She turned away from the view, walking through the research station's curved corridors. Ice groaned overhead, hundreds of kilometers thick and naturally shielding them from surface detection. The station itself was a marvel of engineering, but it paled in comparison to the vessel they'd built here. The main engineering bay doors parted with a soft hiss. Dozens of technicians worked at their stations, monitoring the final integration of the ship's systems. On the central holographic display, the Prometheus's internal schematic rotated slowly, showing all 300 decks in perfect detail. "Dr. Chen," one of the younger engineers called out, her expression worried. "We're detecting some phase variance in the forward armor matrix." Sarah moved to the console, studying the readings. The phase shift armor was perhaps their most revolutionary development, adapted from research into the crystalline structure of the alien scout ship they'd discovered in Antarctica decades ago. It could change its molecular arrangement in microseconds, becoming virtually impenetrable to known weapons. "Increase power to the quantum stabilizers by 3%, Sarah instructed. "The cold is affecting the alignment." She watched as the variance corrected itself, the armor's energy pattern smoothing out to perfect uniformity. A light pulsed in her neural implant. Priority message from the surface. Sarah accepted the connection, and her father's face appeared in her mind's eye. Admiral James Chen looked tense. "The Zarkax made their move," he said without preamble. 72 hours until they expect an answer." Sarah's hands clenched. "We're ready. The Prometheus can launch within 6 hours if needed." "Make it 4, her father replied. Elena played her part perfectly at the UN. "The aliens are completely convinced of our technological inferiority. When the time comes, that assumption will cost them dearly." The connection ended, and Sarah turned to address her team. "Everyone, this is not a drill. Operation Icarus begins now. I want all systems at full combat readiness in 4 hours." The engineering bay erupted into focused activity. Sarah walked to the nearest viewport, staring at the Prometheus's hull. Most of the drones had already detached, their work complete. The ship looked deceptively simple from the outside. Smooth lines and dark metal that seemed to swallow light. Inside that hull waited weapons that would rewrite the rules of space warfare. Quantum fold drives that could slip between the fabric of space itself. Phase shift armor that could shrug off direct hits from particle beams. And most importantly, a crew trained in absolute secrecy, ready to show the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength lay in its ability to surprise. Sarah touched her hand to the viewport one last time. Soon, the galaxy would learn that sometimes the most dangerous predators were those that waited patiently in the dark, watching and learning, before choosing the perfect moment to strike. The countdown to humanity's revelation had begun. The Zarkax transmission cut through every broadcast on Earth, their crystalline forms dominating screens worldwide. First Speaker Ixel's faceted eyes seemed to stare directly at each viewer, their translucent exoskeleton pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that radiated authority. People of Earth, the translation overlay rendered their clicking speech into all human languages simultaneously. Your leadership has been granted adequate time to contemplate our generous offer. We now require your answer. Will humanity accept its place in the natural order, or will you choose a path of needless resistance? In the strategic command bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral James Chen watched the broadcast with carefully controlled expression. Around the circular chamber, military leaders from 20 nations maintained similar poker faces. Each of them had been chosen for their ability to keep humanity's greatest secret. Their fleet formations have shifted, General Santos reported, gesturing at the holographic display showing high orbit. 27 capital ships now in weapons range of major population centers. James nodded, checking his neural implants chronometer. The Zarkax were right on schedule, their movements exactly as predicted by the behavioral models. Sometimes he wondered if their species' crystalline nature made them too rigid, too predictable in their patterns of thought. "Show me the Europa feed," he ordered. A new hologram sparkled to life, showing the ice moon's status. Deep beneath the surface, hundreds of sensor readings confirmed the Prometheus was ready. Their hidden blade was sharp. Now they just had to maintain the deception for a few hours more. The bunker's quantum comm crackled. "This is Captain Rodriguez from the UN chamber. The Zarkax ambassador is demanding an immediate response." James squared his shoulders. "Initiate Protocol Icarus. Authorization, Chen 7 Delta 9. Across the planet, carefully orchestrated chaos began to unfold. Stock markets plunged. Military units scrambled in disarray. Global communications showed signs of panic, all meticulously planned, all designed to convince the Zarkax that humanity was fracturing under pressure. "Sir," his communications officer interrupted, "we're receiving reports of protests outside government buildings worldwide. The public is demanding we accept the Zarkax terms." James allowed himself a small smile. The protesters were military personnel in civilian clothes, another layer of their elaborate deception. "Put the UN feed on main display." The screen showed Elena Rodriguez standing before the alien delegation. She played her role perfectly, her voice trembling just slightly. "Most nations are willing to accept your terms, but some are still resistant. We require just a few more hours to achieve consensus." The Zarkax ambassador's crystalline form darkened with impatience. "You have 1 hour. After that, we will begin implementing protective measures for your own good." The transmission cut off. James opened a secure channel to Europa. "Sarah, status report." His daughter's voice came through clearly despite the ice interference. "The Prometheus is ready. All systems green. We can launch the moment you give the word." "Good." James turned to address the assembled leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen, in 1 hour we show the galaxy why you should never mistake patience for weakness." The room hummed with quiet anticipation. Decades of preparation had led to this moment. The Zarkax thought they were watching humanity crumble. Instead, they were about to witness something unprecedented. James checked the orbital display one final time. The alien ships had arranged themselves in a standard subjugation pattern, positioning their weapons for maximum psychological impact rather than tactical advantage. Their overconfidence would be their undoing. "Send the coded alert to all hidden facilities," he ordered. "When the Prometheus breaks through Europa's ice, every concealed ship and base in the solar system goes active. Let's show them what humanity can do when we work together." The countdown began. In 1 hour, the galaxy would learn an important lesson about underestimating Earth. Europa's surface shimmered under the distant sunlight, its icy plains betraying no hint of what lurked beneath. In the Zarkax command ship, sensor operators monitored the Jovian moon with casual disinterest. Their instruments showed nothing but ice, water, and simple bacterial life forms. That changed in an instant. The first crack appeared near the equatorial region, a hairline fracture that spread across the surface like lightning. Temperature readings spiked as gigantic ice sheets shifted, releasing plumes of frozen water into space. The Zarkax sensors screamed alerts as something massive began rising from the depths. Captain Elena Rodriguez sat in the Prometheus's command chair, watching as crystalline displays showed their ascent progress. "Engineering, status report. Phase shift armor at full power." Sarah Chen's voice came through clear and confident. "Quantum fold drive spooling up. All weapons systems online." The massive battleship broke through the final ice layer, its obsidian hull gleaming in Jupiter's reflected light. 2 kilometers of advanced human engineering emerged into space, water flash freezing off its surface in a glittering display. The ship's sleek design betrayed none of the power hidden within its dark exterior. Multiple Zarkax vessels altering course to intercept, the tactical officer reported. They're scanning us. Their energy readings show confusion. They can't get a clear lock on our systems. Alina allowed herself a small smile. The phase shift armor was working perfectly, its quantum structure constantly changing to deflect scanning beams. To the alien's sensors, the Prometheus would appear as little more than a shadow. "Open a channel to their flagship," she ordered. "Let's introduce ourselves properly." The main display flickered to life, showing first speaker Ixal's crystalline form. Their faceted eyes widened at the sight of Alina in the captain's chair. You were at the diplomatic meeting." "I was," Alina confirmed, her voice steady. "Consider this humanity's formal response to your offer of protection." "We decline." "Impossible." Ixal's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Our scans showed no signs of advanced technology. No shipyards capable of producing a vessel of this size." "That's because you looked where we wanted you to look." Alina gestured, and tactical displays showed dozens of Zarkax ships moving to surround them. "You saw our orbital stations, our primitive rockets. You saw exactly what we wanted you to see." The Prometheus's sensors detected weapons charging across the alien fleet. Alina felt the subtle vibration through her command chair as their own systems powered up. Years of training simulations were about to become reality. "This is your final warning." Ixal's voice had lost its condescending tone. "Stand down and surrender your vessel, or we will be forced to destroy it." Alina opened a secure channel to engineering. "Dr. Chen, is the quantum fold drive ready?" "Coordinates locked in," Sarah replied. "We can jump on your mark." Alina turned back to the main display. First speaker Ixal, "Humanity has spent decades preparing for this moment. We studied your tactics, your technology, your assumptions about younger species, and we learned something important." She paused, seeing the growing concern in the alien leader's crystalline features. "Sometimes the best place to hide is in plain sight." "All ships, open fire," Ixal commanded. "Quantum fold drive engaged," Alina ordered calmly. The Prometheus vanished in a flash of blue light, leaving the Zarkax weapons to pass harmlessly through empty space. The battleship reappeared instantly behind their fleet, its own weapon systems revealing themselves as panels shifted along its hull. Alina's voice carried across the command channel. "Now let us show you what humanity is truly capable of." The real battle was about to begin. Space lit up with crystalline energy beams as the Zarkax fleet attempted to track the Prometheus's movements. The human battleship flickered in and out of existence, each quantum jump bringing it closer to a different target. Like a dancer moving between raindrops, it never stayed in one place long enough to be hit. "Port side battery, target locked," the weapons officer called out, reading maximum power signature from their shields. Alina's fingers tightened on her command chair. "Execute attack pattern, Chen 3. Let's show them what phase-shifted weapons can do." The Prometheus's hull rippled as weapon ports opened. Instead of conventional energy beams or projectiles, waves of quantum-phased particles stringed out. The Zarkax shields, designed to stop normal attacks, might as well have been spider webs trying to stop a bullet. The nearest alien cruiser's crystalline hull shattered, its pieces spreading out in a glittering cloud. The Zarkax fleet responded with a barrage of their own weapons, but the Prometheus had already jumped to a new position. "Their targeting algorithms are adapting," Sarah reported from engineering. "They're trying to predict our jump patterns." Alina nodded. They had expected this. Initiate random sequence protocol. Don't give them anything to analyze. The bridge crew worked with practiced precision, their years of secret training showing in every movement. The Prometheus danced through space, each jump calculated to maximize damage while minimizing exposure. 3 more Zarkak ships fell to their attacks before the alien fleet began to adapt. Energy spike. The sensor officer shouted. They're deploying some kind of quantum detection field. A web of purple energy spread between the remaining Zarkak ships, creating a detection net that could track the Prometheus's quantum signatures. Their next jump landed them in the middle of a prepared kill zone. Multiple weapons locked on. Tactical reported. Impact in 3 seconds. Phase shift armor to maximum. Alina ordered calmly. Rotate frequencies and prepare for shock. The hits came like thunderbolts, crystalline energy beams striking the Prometheus from all directions. But instead of burning through hull plating, the attacks encountered armor that shifted its quantum state faster than the energy could penetrate. The bridge crew felt only slight vibrations. Armor holding. Sarah's voice held a note of pride. Their weapons are powerful, but they can't hit what they can't phase lock. First Speaker Ixel's transmission cut through their tactical channels. Impossible. No species at your development level should have this technology. You're violating natural law. No, Alina responded, watching as her crew prepared their counterattack. We're just showing you that your understanding of natural law needs updating. Humanity doesn't follow the development path you expected because we choose to make our own path. The Prometheus's main weapon powered up, drawing energy from its quantum core. A beam of pure possibility struck out, its phase-shifted particles ignoring shields and armor alike. 3 more Zarkak ships split apart, their crystalline forms unable to maintain cohesion against weapons that operated on fundamental laws their builders had never considered. Their fleet is pulling back, Tactical reported. They're attempting to establish a defensive perimeter around Jupiter. Alina exchanged glances with her bridge crew. This was the moment they had trained for, the point where they could press their advantage or show mercy. The choice would set the tone for humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage. Send them a message, she decided. Tell them we're willing to discuss new terms, equal terms. As the Prometheus held position among the debris of battle, the remaining Zarkak ships maintained their distance. The galaxy's power structure had just shifted, and everyone knew it. The real question was what would happen next. Admiral James Chen stood in the Strategic Command Center, watching as signals began lighting up across the solar system display. Like stars appearing at dusk, dozens of hidden facilities activated their beacons. Each point of light represented years of secret preparation, billions in hidden resources, and humanity's true military capability. Mars Defense Platform Alpha coming online, a controller announced. Phobos base reporting ready status. The massive hologram showed the red planet's polar ice caps splitting apart, revealing underground hangars. Sleek destroyers emerged from their frozen shelter, their designs similar to but smaller than the Prometheus. Each vessel represented a different nation's contribution to humanity's hidden fleet. Signal from Saturn's rings, another operator called out. Mining Station Echo revealing military configuration. What the Zarkaks had dismissed as primitive resource extraction platforms transformed before their sensors. Armor plates shifted, weapon systems emerged from hidden compartments, and engines flared to life. The mining stations were actually fully equipped battle stations, strategically positioned throughout the outer solar system. In the Jupiter system, First Speaker Ixel's flagship recorded the unprecedented sensor readings. Impossible, they transmitted. Your civilization's energy output readings never indicated this level of military infrastructure. Because we built it all using quantum-shielded technology, James responded, opening a channel to the Zarkak's command ship. Every rocket launch you observed carried double payloads. Every scientific mission served 2 purposes. We took your assumptions about our capabilities and turned them into our greatest defense. The asteroid belt came alive as hidden shipyards revealed themselves. What appeared to be simple mining operations transformed into military installations. Vessels of various sizes and configurations emerged from hollowed-out asteroids, each one equipped with the same phase-shift technology that made the Prometheus so formidable. Admiral, his tactical officer reported, Venus defense grid is online. Mercury solar stations, 1 through 7 switching to military configuration. The inner system blazed with new energy signatures as humanity's orbital infrastructure showed its true nature. Solar power stations became weapon platforms. Research satellites transformed into defensive arrays. Everything the Zarkax had dismissed as primitive now demonstrated its hidden potential. You deceived us. Ixal's transmission carried notes of both anger and reluctant admiration. Your entire civilization participated in this deception. We learned from history, James replied, watching as more ships joined formation with the Prometheus. Every time a more advanced civilization encountered a less developed one on Earth, the results were devastating for the less advanced society. We decided that wouldn't be humanity's story among the stars. The tactical display updated as more hidden facilities revealed themselves. Humanity's fleet now outnumbered the Zarkax forces 3-1, with more ships still emerging from their concealed bases. Sir, his communications officer interrupted, we're receiving transmissions from the Zarkax fleet. Multiple captains are requesting permission to withdraw to safe distances. James exchanged glances with the other military leaders in the command center. The next few moments would determine whether this became a catastrophic battle or the beginning of a new diplomatic reality. Send to all Zarkax vessels, he ordered. Humanity has no desire for war. We hid our strength not out of deception, but out of prudence. We're willing to establish relations as equals, but the old paradigm of protector and protected is no longer acceptable. The command center fell silent as they waited for the response. Around the solar system, hundreds of human vessels held position, their quantum drives ready, their weapons powered but not targeting. Finally, Ixal's response came through. Perhaps, we have much to learn from each other. The galaxy's balance of power had shifted, not through overwhelming force, but through patience, preparation, and the element of surprise. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by following the expected path, but by crafting its own. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the quantum communications display, watching as transmissions flooded in from across the galaxy. The Prometheus's advanced sensors picked up messages in hundreds of different languages, all carrying the same undertone of hope and rebellion. News of humanity's successful resistance had spread faster than light itself, carried by the Zarkax's own quantum network. Another uprising reported in the Centauri sector, her assistant reported. The Nexus species has activated their own hidden fleet. They've been watching us, learning from our example. Sarah moved through the engineering bay, monitoring the strange readings appearing on various screens. The quantum fold drive was detecting unusual patterns in spacetime, ripples that shouldn't exist according to their current understanding of physics. She had noticed similar anomalies during their battle with the Zarkax fleet. Captain Rodriguez, she called through the ship's internal communication system. I need you to see something in engineering. Elena arrived minutes later, her uniform still pristine despite the recent battle. Sarah led her to the main quantum analysis station, where a holographic display showed waves of energy coursing through nearby space. The quantum fold technology we developed, Sarah explained, it's not just allowing us to jump through space. It's creating a cascade effect in the fabric of reality itself. Every jump we make is teaching space new tricks. On the bridge, first speaker Ixal's transmission caught everyone's attention. Your actions have caused chaos throughout the Confederation. 3 more Protectorate species have revealed hidden military capabilities. The Nexos, the Viridians, even the peaceful Quantum Collective, they all learned from watching Earth. You taught us an important lesson when you arrived. Elena responded, glancing at Sarah's data. Sometimes the best defense is letting your adversary underestimate you. We simply shared that lesson with others. Sarah's instruments detected more quantum disturbances. Across the galaxy, other species were activating technologies they had kept hidden, creating ripples in spacetime that resonated with each other. The Prometheus's sensors recorded it all, gathering data that would revolutionize their understanding of physics. The Quantum Collective is reporting something extraordinary. Sarah's assistant announced. Their hidden fleet uses technology similar to ours. The quantum signatures are nearly identical. Sarah's eyes widened as she studied the new data. It's not just similar. It's the same fundamental principles. Different species across the galaxy independently discovered the same quantum mechanics we did. We all hid it for the same reason, waiting for the right moment. Alina smiled. Great minds think alike, even across light years. The quantum communications array lit up again as more transmissions poured in. The Viridians had liberated 3 star systems. The Nexus fleet had secured their home sector. Species that the Zarkax had dismissed as primitive were revealing technologies and capabilities that rivaled or exceeded their own. Dr. Chen, one of the engineers, called out, "The quantum field distortions are forming a pattern. It's like the various species technologies are synchronizing somehow." Sarah rushed to the console, her mind racing as she analyzed the readings. The quantum fold drives from different species were creating a harmonic resonance in spacetime itself. Each jump, each activation of their hidden technologies strengthened the effect. "This goes beyond military technology," she breathed. "We're witnessing the birth of a new form of faster-than-light travel. The combined effect of all these quantum drives, we're literally teaching the universe new physics." Alina's command channel chimed with an urgent message from Earth. Admiral Chen's voice carried notes of both concern and wonder. The Zarkax are requesting an immediate conference, not just with Earth, but with all the species that have revealed themselves. Something fundamental has changed in the galaxy. Sarah looked at her quantum readings again. The universe itself seemed to be adapting, learning, growing. Humanity's hidden fleet had sparked more than just a political revolution. It had initiated a scientific one as well. The next phase of galactic civilization was about to begin. The rains of Saturn provided a spectacular backdrop for the most significant diplomatic gathering in human history. The Prometheus held position at the center of an unprecedented fleet formation, vessels from 12 different species arranged in a spiral pattern that mirrored the rings behind them. Each ship's quantum drive pulsed in perfect harmony with the others, creating ripples in spacetime that Dr. Sarah Chen's instruments recorded with fierce intensity. "The quantum collective ships are taking position," Alina reported from the bridge. Their crystalline designs almost make the Zarkax vessels look primitive in comparison. The massive conference chamber aboard the Prometheus had been specially designed for this moment, though its creators never imagined quite this many species would attend. Holographic displays showed representatives from across the galaxy, each bringing their own revelations of hidden technological achievements. First speaker Ixel entered the chamber last, their crystalline form somehow less imposing than during their first meeting on Earth. They took their place at the round table, surrounded by species they had once considered protectorates. "We have all been deceived," Ixel began, mandibles moving slowly. "But perhaps we also deceived ourselves. We assumed technological progress followed a single path, that our way was the only way." Admiral Chen stood from his seat. "Every species here developed similar technologies independently. But we all chose to hide them, to wait, to prepare. The question is, what do we do with this knowledge now?" Sarah stepped forward, her quantum data displaying above the table. "The combined effect of our quantum drives is creating something unprecedented. The fabric of space-time itself is adapting to our technologies, forming new pathways between stars. We're not just changing politics, we're changing the fundamental nature of interstellar travel." The Viridian representative, a being of pure energy contained within an engineered body, spoke next. "Our scientists have confirmed Dr. Chen's findings. The quantum resonance between our combined fleets has reduced the energy cost of faster-than-light travel by 60% already. Together, we could revolutionize galactic civilization." Alina watched as former enemies began sharing discoveries, comparing notes on technologies they had kept hidden for decades or centuries. The Zarkax, she noted, seemed particularly interested in the quantum collective's innovations in crystalline computing. "We propose a new compact," Admiral Chen announced. not based on protectors and protectorates, but on mutual respect and shared discovery. Earth offers its quantum-fold technology freely, in exchange for open sharing of all participants' advances. The chamber erupted in discussion, but Sarah's attention was drawn to her instruments. The quantum field fluctuations had stabilized into a new pattern, as if the universe itself approved of this collaboration. The old barriers are falling. First speaker Ixel observed, not through conquest or submission, but through revelation and unity. Perhaps this is the true test every spacefaring civilization must face, learning when to reveal their strength and how to use it wisely. One by one, the representatives signaled their agreement. The Nexos shared their advancements in biological computing. The Viridians revealed their mastery of energy manipulation. The Quantum Collective offered their insights into crystalline technology that made even the Zarkax pause in amazement. As the historic meeting concluded, Elena found Sarah at her monitoring station. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this when we started building the Prometheus?" Sarah smiled, watching the quantum readings that showed a galaxy transforming itself. "We built a weapon in secret, but created something far more powerful, a reason for different species to work together." Above Saturn's rings, the assembled fleet began to disperse, each ship carrying new knowledge and possibilities back to their homeworlds. The universe had changed not through force of arms, but through the revelation that greatness could hide in unexpected places. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by conquering or submitting, but by showing that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe was the ability to surprise, to adapt, and to bring others together in common cause. The next chapter of galactic history was beginning, and it would be written by all species together.